today we are working on a little fancy machine to auto process all our ores and gems we get from mining. So let's get right into that. I did have some issues with recording. It switched it to an MKV file, which is not my standard video file, and my editor wouldn't let me use that, so I had to convert it. But it all looked like it turned out okay. There is a watermark in it at like 15 minutes, so that might be a bit annoying, but other than that, it should be good. So thank you for watching. Hey, to get started, we're gonna go ahead and place an ender chest. This is gonna be our input, so that way we can basically hook up anything we want to this same ender chest throughout the world, and everything will get put into here. Next, we got some impulse item ducts. We're gonna go ahead and pull out from this side, probably this side too, I assume. I can't remember how many filters this got, so it looks like 15. They will need at least 2. Honestly, let's go ahead and hook up the third side as well. If we need more connections to the ender chest, it's not a big deal, because all we'll have to do is place another one of these ender chests with the same color code on top. Next, we got to get hooked up to our pulverizers, I think is what we're going to set up first. And we decided to go ahead and make 3 of these for a couple of reasons we will get into later. So all 3 of these, we want the input on top, so blue. And then the output will probably be directly back, I'm gonna assume. I haven't thought this fully through, so we might have to change this. I don't know if we'll want them all on the orange, but I believe we will. And then we're gonna go ahead and place the induction smelter, I think, right here. Let's make it go this way, actually. Oh no. Alright, we got the induction smelter. The left is gonna be blue. That should be fine, I believe. And then one more thing, I guess we can hook it up on this side, or we can too. Trying to think. Give me 1 second. Alright, so I thought about it a little bit. This might not be perfect, but I think it will work. We're gonna just put another ender chest right here with another servo. Again, we might rearrange some of this, but we got the 2 redstone furnaces right here. And now that I think about it, we actually, I think, are going to want to face them this way. So this is the front face, and on the right is going to be the input. So there we go. Now everything in the pulverizers will get inputted into these redstone furnaces. And in this back one, we also want the input right there for the ender chest, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Okay, and then just the output for now. I think we can output. I think we'll be all right for now. Okay, so let's get some of these filters set up, which is probably going to be the worst part to do, honestly, because it's going to take a bit of effort. So I'm going to do some of these off camera, and then I'll show you how I have them set up. Okay, so I think I figured it out. So I changed this up a little bit. Basically, I got a chest buffer, so everything that comes out of these 3 pulverizers will go into this chest, and everything in this chest will get sent to the redstone furnaces for the most part. That's why we have the second ender chest that we're gonna have filtered for stuff that needs to go straight to the redstone furnace and not the pulverizers hooked up to that. That way, basically, it'll go into that and then get smelted up instead of going through the pulverizers. I did just, however, think of something. We are going to change this just a tad bit. We are going to put this on top, actually. We'll do that, just like that. Okay, that is good, I believe. I think we are fairly good now. The reason we have to have a buffer right here is because we want to pull everything out of this to get smelted, except for at least one item that I can think of right now. Because the main reason we're doing this a bit more complicated way is because we want to create something called Cinnabar from thermal expansion, or thermal foundation, sorry. And basically with Cinnabar, you can get an extra ingot out of smelting. So if you smelt gold, you get 3 gold instead of getting 2 from pulverizing it. The reason we're doing that is just for platinum ore and probably nickel as well. And I'll show you why in a bit. One thing I do need to grab, and then we'll get right back to it. Okay, I just wanted to grab some Cinnabar because we want to go ahead and blacklist that. So everything else should, in theory, get pulled out of that chest and sent into these furnaces. I think we're fairly set up to test out. There's definitely going to be some quirks we got to sort out. If we set that one to whitelist, I don't think it'll pull anything out, right? Okay, so for the furnace, we want to put those 2 items I had written down. Give me just a second. So amber, I believe. Thought that was one more. Oh, and cinnabar. So amber and cinnabar. Both those need to go into the furnace. They can't be pulverized. So if you look at the recipe, they cannot go into the pulverizer. So that's why we have them getting pulled out and sent into these guys. Just like that. We still need to power all these machines, obviously. And then there's still a couple ores left in here, right? We got charged Certus quartz, platinum, and nickel. So the platinum and nickel is the ones we want to put into the induction smelter because we want to be able to... Is it going to pull it out? Question mark. I don't think so. Huh. I feel like it should. Could be wrong. That do it? Oh, it's not on. Huh. Okay. Now is it pulling it out? Yeah, it is. Okay, because that's how we're going to get 3 platinum. You can get per an ore instead of 2. And platinum's kind of a pain in the butt to get in this mod, and you do need it quite a bit for the last tier of upgrades like the Sinderium stuff. So I want to make sure we got a plentiful supply of it when we get started on automation. I think all of these are set up, so those should be able to pull out. And again, this one's whitelisted, and I got all the ores I wanted to put in there. We might have other ones we have to. Only thing we didn't do anything with now is charged Certus quartz ore. So that one, the reason we can technically pulverize it, but it's going to create the same thing as the regular Certus quartz ore. So I think we're actually just going to store this one as is. That way we can mine it with fortune and get the charged Certus quartz that way. Otherwise you got to basically charge the non-charged Certus quartz in the energetic effuser we have upstairs, which seems like an extra step and a waste of power, to be honest. Let me get these hooked up with power real quick and we'll test it out a little bit. Okay, so I hooked up power to all of them, and as you can see, all those things got pulled out and sent where they needed to go, except for a couple things because we don't have this thing running yet, and we don't have a place for the charged Certus quartz to go quite yet. We'll have to fix that in just a moment. But all these got pulverized, and they're all sitting in here because these things are full. And basically, we want to pull out the apatite, the emerald, diamond, sulfur, coal, and redstone. I think that is it. And probably this too. I don't think you smelt this, do you? You can pulverize it again, apparently. We probably won't even be getting much of that, if any, so it's not a big deal, really. We don't even have to put it in the setup if we don't want. The cinnabar, obviously. Oh, and the Certus quartz. Okay, so we got quite a bit. So we basically need to set up another filter to pull all of these guys out and send these into storage. And I think we're just going to go underneath for that. And I think we'll just put the storage down here for now, just right. Let's just put it right here, because this isn't going to be permanent. We're going to get some barrels or something set up eventually. Okay, so I tried something else. I know this is kind of messy already, but I don't think we actually need another filter for the cinnabar. It looks like if instead of blacklisting anything, just keep this on open. It'll pull everything out, including the dust and everything, obviously. And the cinnabar knows to just go here, so I don't think anything else will get sent in there. And as you can see, we got 3 platinum out of that and an iridium ingot every single time if we're using cinnabar, so that's cool. The only other thing we need to worry about is we probably want to blacklist all of these items so none of those get pulled out here, but I think we're going to try it without at first because I don't know that any of those will get pulled that way because the machine should be smart enough that none of those will fit in there, I don't believe. So now we just need to take the output of all of these and send them into one location. And honestly, we could just hook them all up to this chest. I guess we'll do that for now, but I think I'm just going to have them all hooked up to a different color code of ender chests. That way we can have one ender chest with all our processed items in it, basically, if that makes sense. And again, we still got to pump that into that as well. So yeah, let me get a couple more ender chests, I think. We'll just do it that way. By the way, in case you were wondering, these are the ender chests we're using, so not the default ones in vanilla Minecraft, the one from ender storage right here, and this is how you craft them. So it'll let me put the recipe up, which it won't for some reason. Let's just do that and then that. And whatever color wool you get is what color of top you'll get. So like these are all 3 blue, but you can also go even further and configure it one at a time. So if you have all 3 white and you want it like white, blue, white, you can just take a lapis and right click on that little line and it'll dye it. And same with all the other 15 colors of dye, so you can get very customizable colors and have lots of different systems that way. So instead of this stuff going in here, I know I just set all this up, we are just going to, we should probably just use this, just hook that up right there. So everything will just go sent right into there. Let's try that out again. Put all that back in there. And we should be able to hook, oh no, we got power underneath there. So let's just put the the pipes on the left side, and those are both set to output already. And we'll just bring them down right there. Just like that, and get rid of this silly torch and bring them right there. So now that output is set to go into our ender chest we want it to. And we'll just throw this chest right here for now. Look at that, we're already getting spots. Although it's going to fill up very quickly for obvious reasons. Did it fill up all the way? No. Okay, this stuff should be running again then. So yeah. If it's kind of running. It's taking its time, it feel like. I think it's working though. Let's make sure these last 2 get cooked up real quick, and it looks like they are. And now we got the cinnabar going here. We just need the outputs from this guy. So we'll just connect both the outputs right there and just throw it in a chest right there. And that should be all of it, if I'm not mistaken. Although we did not do that one, the charge service quartz, so we might just leave that in there for now. But anyways, I believe that's pretty much all the ores. I did get some upgrades you might have noticed. I wanted to upgrade all our machines to resonant level down here. There we go. And again, this all might change. This is something I just wanted to try out. So first thing is we are putting 4 levels of these sieves in each of the pulverizers. So we're not doing speed like you might have thought. So it's going to be kind of slow. But these basically, each level I think gives you like 10% chance. I'm not sure. You'd have to look it up on the wiki. But they do stack, I believe. So they increase the chance of a secondary product, which is going to be the cinnabar that we're getting over here. But it's also going to give us more ores basically. Because if you pulverize, I think iron ore, for instance, has a chance to, it's like a 10% chance. Here, let's find one real quick. Right. Here we go. So that's 10% chance of giving you nickel. Since we have 4 of those, I think it's more like a 50% chance. So we're going to get more ores, and also we'll get more of the cinnabar, which is the main thing I'm worried about. So I think it'll be worth it. If we have to, we'll throw some speed on it. We might have to get another pulverizer. We're just gonna let it run and test it out. We do have the speed upgrades for the furnaces though, including the induction smelter. So we're just gonna throw that in all those and let the power build up. And now I think we can go grab a little bit of ore and try it out. I don't have a ton. I mean, we can put this apatite in there. Throw some lead, some tin, some black quartz, because that's another weird one that we're not actually smelting. Make sure it can run with a few different things in there. But I do not see why it wouldn't. It is pretty slow though. So like I said, we might have to... I don't know if we'll be able to run the... We might just switch it to speed and just put the ones that give us cinnabar, which is redstone ore and gold ore, to have the 4 auxiliary seeds in it. And the other ones we might just keep on speed. But kind of just depends. We'll have to get... What is that? Okay, I thought it was going back in there. I was like, what is that doing? But no, we're good. Looks like it's all working as it should. Do we not have black quartz set up to go downwards? Oh no, the chest is full. Haha. Funny. We also don't have it set up, you're correct. So let's get that set up before we forget. And then for now, I know it seems counterproductive, but for now we are just gonna throw that down and a servo of some kind, which we literally don't have any, except for the terrible one, so it's probably gonna take forever to even catch up. But oh well. Everything will go into there. Now we should be able to set up like a bunch of barrels in a wall and start sorting all our ingots and stuff, and then hopefully they still have it. Do they still have the ender pouch? They do. Okay, so the ender pouch comes from the same mod as the fancy ender chest we have over there, and same thing as 3 color codes. You can link with whatever colors you want. So if we get one with white, like this chest right here, everything we put into the pouch will go into here. So that way when we're mining, instead of putting it in the dank knoll, we can just open up a bag, it's just like this, and throw it in there, and it will get sent up to our machinery and auto get processed. But for now, I think we are pretty happy with that. Also, something I worked on off camera is I made a silk touch pick. That's why a lot of these ores we haven't seen before, like this one, because we were using fortune on them. I wanted to do silk touch because the cinnabar and a couple other reasons. I figured it would be worth it later on. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't think we're gonna do much else, but I did get silk touch on a pick, and I worked on a couple other things off camera. I am probably gonna stream again. Right now I'm recording this. This is